Holy friggin' crap! More breaking news! The New York Jets just signed Mike Williams. Let's friggin' go, baby! We have.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Oh my good golly, the Jets didn't let him leave the building. Breaking news, the New York Jets have signed former Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams on a one-year deal worth up to $15 million. Another weapon for Aaron freaking Rodgers. Wow, the sandwich worked, NYJ Matt. Unbelievable. The Bush guys. Hopefully you caught that on camera. The Jets just added Mike Williams, the perfect freaking compliment to Garrett Wilson. Wow. The Jets are all in. It's freaking happening. It's juicy. It's a splash. Wowza. I wasn't sure if that, the Jets were going to let him leave. 100%. Let's give a shout out to NYJ Matt. The sandwich did it. Greg C. James Alba saying Taylor ham sandwich for the win. It's official. Boys, we are reacting to the breaking news that the New York Jets have just signed Mike Williams. I just got off at, we were just doing the live show a little bit ago with Boy Green Meets Woody, and boom, the Jets have got him. They got their guy. Oh, wow. Wow. And now the possibilities open up just even more for the New York Jets heading into the NFL draft. They have the number 10 overall pick in the first round. And the thought was, once they added Tyron Smith and completed the line, which was Tyron Smith at left tackle, John Simpson at left guard, Joe Tippmann at center, AVT at right guard, and then Morgan Moses at right tackle, that you thought with those five, like, wow, now the Jets could go Brock Bowers, they could go wide receiver, they could do all kinds of things in the 2024 NFL draft in the first round. And now the possibilities open up even more. You have Mike Williams opposite of Garrett Wilson. You have a bona fide, legitimate number 2. And now the draft possibilities open up even more because you could go Brock Bowers now at tight end. You can still go get one of those crazy wide receivers. We heard it from Daniel Jeremiah with a Marvin Harrison Jr. possibility, Roma Dunze, what have you. This is pure BPA. And this works all the way for Mike Williams. This is a great deal for him. Again, we'll get some of the deeper contract details. Right now, all we know is a one-year deal worth up to $15 million. And the Jets were willing to put the number out there where he didn't have to go on his other visits. He was set to he was set to visit with the Carolina Panthers. He was set to meet with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but the Jets gave him the pitch. We've got Aaron Rodgers. We have championship aspirations. And for Mike Williams, you play on a contending team and you have a chance to obviously, dip your toe back into the free agent waters coming up in the near future to make it happen. So, wow, this is an absolute blockbuster, massive move for the Jets. Former top 10 pick, super talented guy. Wow. And a perfect compliment, like I said, to Garrett Wilson. There was two things Sauce Gardner said on the Pivot podcast when he was asked kind of a GM-ish question about, what do you want to see this offseason? Number 1, Sauce Gardner said protection for Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, he talked about getting someone that can draw attention away from Garrett Wilson, and La Sauce GM, booyah, getting exactly what the New York Jets need, adding pass catchers and doing other things. Yes, I've lost my gosh darn bananas, and I swore for like the first time on Twitter. I never swear. And I just said, holy blank. The Jets did not let him leave the building. Mike Williams is a friggin' New York Jet, and the sandwich worked. NYJ Matt. That was the normally I have a holy cannoli or gosh darn bananas or what have you, but the expletive was certainly necessary there as well. And I see it on Instagram. People are losing it of all this other stuff on here. This is great. And the next move, of course, for the Jets, for people that are pushing it forward, It's Jadeveon Clowney, baby. And look, Jared B just said it. Part of our Boy Green super fan club. Can I get the icing on top with Clowney? This is an all-in year, and you're making all-in moves. And all-in moves include Clowney, which would be another edge rusher. Yes, Phil, it is official. Came from me and Rappaport. They did not let him leave the building. They get him signed on the dotted line, baby. And now you get another receiver opposite of Garrett Wilson. Mike Williams is 29 years of age. He will turn 30 upcoming in the October season. He blew out his ACL, only ended up playing in 3 games last year. But the good news is for Mike Williams is it happened so early in the season, he had plenty of time to recover. In fact, it happened even earlier than Breece Hall's injury, which happened in that October, and he was ready for the next season. Mike Williams got hurt even earlier, so he should be more than ready for next season, I would believe. But, I don't have those medical details in front of me. So, booyah, 1-year deal, $15 million. And then the Jets say we have a new media alert to share, and that was 1,000% that. So, awesome. And NYJ Matt does. I have been saying it the entire time, but yes, more NYJ Matt. We do not deserve NYJ Matt for sending that sandwich in, which apparently helped. So freaking awesome. Mike Williams, who, by the way, let's go through some of his stats. So again, he's a former top 10 pick. He's had 2,000-yard campaigns in his career. Came in 2019, where he had an unbelievable 20.4 yards per reception in that season. He had 49 catches for 1,000 yards. He was just a big play monster in that season. And then in 2021, another 1,100-yard campaign, 9 touchdowns, 76 receptions. Phenomenal. He is just, that's what he brings to this offense that I love, that he just brings juice. He just brings juice. He can take the top off of a defense, and to get that from Aaron Rodgers dropping bombs and Mike Williams catching those passes, I mean, holy friggin' crap, baby. So there it is, a 1-year deal worth up to $15 million. Like I said, I'll keep trying to refresh this, so as we're breaking live to see if we get any more details on that contract. And hell, if it's anything like the Tyron Smith deal, which, by the way, we got before, then, I mean, with a 6.5, this was Tyron Smith's deal, 6.5, $7.5 million guarantee. And then beyond that, it was all incentives driven for the New York Jets. And we were like, whoa, I was happy with the player. And then we see the contract. I'm even happier. I'm like, wowza, holy cannoli, look at what we have here. So we'll see on Mike Williams with, again, that as well. Franco said on YouTube, let me see, we're getting a lot of comments in. Let me see if I can get that one in here. Franco, he said, like you said, Boy Green earlier, most likely $8 million with incentives up to 15. It makes sense if that's kind of the structure the New York Jets went with. I'll see if they paid a little richer than that and guarantees to make sure he didn't leave, which again, so now the Jets don't have to play around, but I am fascinated to see what the structure is. So if you guys get a tweet or see it, again, YouTube Super Chats, baby, we're celebrating and reacting to friggin' the New York Jets locking in Mike Williams in free agency, the former Chargers wide receiver. Just massive news. This is the Jets just tweeted out, we're going to need a fresh sandwich. Oh, that is phenomenal. So cool for Matt. That's awesome. That is awesome. That is so cool. Let me see. I'm still waiting to see if we get any more contract news, but awesome on NYJ Matt. It was already trending on ESPN and SportsCenter, and apparently the sandwich worked. So freaking NYJ Matt. He deserves all the love. I love it. Everybody, make sure you're showing your support. We got over 1,000 people in here right now. We love it. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe, baby. And let's celebrate and react to Mike Williams being a member of the New York Jets. He was the 7th overall pick in the 2017 NFL draft out of Clemson. He brings big playability. That's the most exciting thing for me. In his career, he averages 15.6 yards per reception, a dynamic threat that could just make big plays happen. 31 touchdowns in his career, 15.6 yards per reception. He has 4,800 receiving yards in his career and throwing 309 receptions on top of that. I mean, Mike Williams is a spectacular talent. Let's freaking go. And now look at this offense. Come on, man. You have Aaron Rodgers. We have the offensive line we already talked about. You have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams. I mean, this was one of the more exciting wide receiver 2 options out there. I know a lot of you guys weren't a big fan of my OBJ things or this or that, but Mike Williams just brings legitimate juice. All gas, no break. Woo. Wow-wee. Oh, boy. Oh, man, we're here on a Tuesday. The New York Jets are diving into the deep end of the pool off the diving board with all these sexy splashes all over the place. Get freaking Tyron Smith, one of the best left tackles in the game of football, and then you freaking add in Mike Williams. Boy, Aaron Rodgers is going to shatter. I see that from Patrick Volpe. Over 4,000 yards for Aaron Rodgers easily. I mean, think about it, especially in today's day and age where you have 17 games, right? Let's do the quick math on that. On 4,017. So he has to average 235 yards passing per game to get to 4,000. He's getting that. He's getting that easy. We might have 2,000-yard receivers in Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams, which means what does it do for Breece Hall to have those people out there to make some things happen? Marco saying, just subscribe. Welcome to the show, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. I mean, we're ready. We go live every single day at 7:30 in the morning. Then we go live on Tuesdays, Thursdays at 3 o'clock. And then, of course, live for breaking things just like this with news that comes in, like Mike Williams. So this is exciting. I mean, my daughter's so excited about it. She can't even contain herself as she's over here. So rightfully so. I mean, she is, let's give a shout out to my daughter here. Wow. Wow is exactly right. Azariah Luna, my beautiful 2-year-old daughter, chiming in there. Oh, this is excellent. So yes, I think it was the egg sandwich, everybody. I think it was. That certainly didn't hurt. So NYJ Matt, thank you for your service. Bush Guys, Optimistic Jets on Twitter, thank you for your service. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Let me see this. I just kind of want to take a peek ski here. I want to see how many of our Jets brethren are also live right now. Let's see. Let me do a quick search here and see. And for good reason, by the way, obviously as well, because this is big news. And we get big news on a random freaking Tuesday here, which is also really cool. That part of the equation's awesome. And it's just exciting to have Mike Williams here. I wasn't sure. I thought the Jets were going to let him go through his process, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure if we were going to go to that level to make sure. Again, we'll wait for structure to come in officially before we can really judge it one way or the other. But I mean, it's just exciting for the New York Jets to realize the urgency of the situation. We haven't been to the playoffs since the freaking 2010 regular season. So it just feels really good to see the urgency this team has to make things happen. This isn't a 5 years down the road move. This is just a move in general because of the New York Jets ready to push their chips in. It looks like we got Matt O'Leary, Jets media. I mean, we got Jake Asman. We got everybody live, and for good reason with everything that's going on. So O'Leary, Asman, so NY Flight Jets Talk was live earlier. Jets media, good. All of our brethren coming together for this. John says draft is really wide open. So now you could do everything. You could probably, if you want, you can either trade back, you could trade up, you could get aggressive, maybe even trade back now because you're filling some of these. That could be a way for it to happen. There's no doubt about it. As Patrick says, like the page, people. We have 1,300 people now in the room now. So yes, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. That is the free way to support the program. I'm a little bit in shock, to be honest. I'm a little trying to gather myself because it just hit me. Thankfully, I'm in shout out to Badlands War Room. I just got on my phone a notification, Mike Williams, all caps. And I just said to myself, no friggin' way, and went to social media and confirmed it within seconds. Because thankfully, all those crazy bastards must have Rap Sheet and all those guys on like instant alert or something. Because I hear every notification live from the War Room group before anywhere else. So I love that. That's how I find out. And it's crazy. It's awesome. Phil says, push all the chips in the center for the Jets. That's my mentality. You're chasing a Super Bowl. Daniel Jeremiah said it really well in his podcast. I was actually in the middle of writing up the, Daniel Jeremiah mock draft, where he predicted the Jets would move up. And maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow with the Mike Williams stuff. But to make that massive move up, he said that the Jets are basically going all in over the next 2 years to win a Super Bowl. And obviously a move like this says exactly that for the New York Jets. Spectacular. All right, I'll also do this for you guys to call in. I'm putting that link up right now on the pinned comment. So hang on tight as we're putting that in there. We will put that in the comment section so you guys can join the show. Video link to join show. Click here. All right. Okay. Just put that in the chat, and we're now going to pin that message. Okay, the call-in line is now pinned on YouTube. If you guys would like to get on the show and react to all this, feel free to call into the program. We appreciate you, and let's get crazy because Jet fans are crazy, as we should be after a move like this. So again, the call-in line is open for our people. If you're watching on one of the other apps, Instagram or Twitter, just jump over to the YouTube channel. That is the direct description in my Twitter bio if you prefer that, and you guys can call into the show. That is pinned. I'd love to hear your questions, comments, and everything in between on the Jets signing Mike friggin' Williams. This is exciting. Let's see. We got Zandy on Twitter says Panthers scheduled Michael Gallup visit because they knew Williams was going to New York. Oh, I didn't see that. So that's awesome. And yes, Lasauce deserves that credit. I'll be sharing that clip after we get off. After we get off the live stream to give him even more credit for that for sure. Finnegan's flight crew. Great golly. Paul, we got him. Ooh, great golly. That's another one I should put in my notes for the future. Jared B. That must have been one hell of a sandwich. That's for sure. So NYJ Matt, thank you for doing that work. That must have been what sold him. If we get a picture from the Jets and they tweet out Mike Williams holding that bag, I'm going to lose my crap. So please, Jets, break the internet with that combo plate. That would be awesome. Eric, oh yeah, trade back to get a second OT and another wide receiver. Yeah, that's also possible. So the Jets are at 10. They could allow someone else to trade up for like a Roma Dunze or one of the offensive lineman slips, or heaven forbid, one of the quarterback slips. You could back up a bit, pick up a second or third rounder, and then have more dart throws. That could be another strategy. You could go either way if you're the Jets. You could trade back and go for Mims, Tyler Guyton, whatever, one of those second or third tackles, because it seems like the receiver class is richer, so you could probably get better receivers later than offensive tackles. So you could probably get your trade back a little, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots, whatever you want. 10 spots, could be more if you want, and then pick whatever offensive tackle you want that's in that next tier. Maybe you could still get Fuaga, Guyton, Mims, whatever the guy is your preference of choice. Pick up a second or third. And then in the second or third, you dip into the wide receiver train. Could be a Ricky Pearsall potentially. That's a guy I've been banging the drum for a little bit here recently, but it could even be beyond that name. Roman Wilson, if you want to go the Michigan route or what have you. That would be a lot of fun too. So even more options, which is awesome. Let me go through all that. Let me catch up on the comments here. Shadow round. Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams could amass 2,500 plus yards easy with Rodgers. There's no doubt about it. I think they could easily get those numbers. Garrett Wilson's been putting up crazy numbers with garbage quarterback play through his first 2 years. I can only imagine what it will be with having another guy aside from him, because Garrett Wilson's been putting up numbers with no one at quarterback and no one of legitimate threat at wide receiver. And now he's got a guy that's a borderline Pro Bowl player that puts up crazy video game numbers in terms of yards per reception and touchdowns. He's just a big body. He is a yin to the yang of Garrett Wilson and just brings a lot of really interesting stuff to the table. Franco says, I'll take OBJ as wide receiver 3 for super cheap. We'll see if the Jets go in that direction. I think this might kill the OBJ thing, because I thought that they would add a wide receiver either through free agency or trade, and then they would pair it up with the draft. It would surprise me if they added another veteran. Maybe they do, but that would probably maybe hint an Allen Lazard trade if they added OBJ as well. And then they could draft a kid and he could be like wide receiver 4-ish and kind of learn from the veterans on the team. So maybe, but an OBJ signing would probably surprise me right now. This is just my initial thoughts. I don't know. I haven't heard from any insiders or anything of that nature, but that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, it could be the egg sandwich. You're right. No one's happier than Dakota. I love it. All right. Conklin and Ruckert should eat. Yeah, that should be a nice in the middle if they don't take Brock Bowers, which I would imagine a lot of people are like, Brock Bowers now. And then your offense is cooking unbelievably with some of that. Again, the call-in link is pinned to the top, so feel free to click in, and I'll see you in the green room. Just be on camera, and we'll bring you on the show. Love it. The call-in line is open. I can get to that in a little bit. Let's go. Loco_Jets95. Do you think Clowney's going to sign right away or wait it out? I don't think he meets till, what's today? Tuesday? I don't think he comes till tomorrow, I think is what I saw. So we'll see. ASO EXO. We're running out of cap space now, surely, LOL. I don't know the structure. So there could be void years included. I know there was some of that on Kinlaw's deal. So that's possible, but no, I don't know. All of that hasn't been factored in yet because structure is important. Even on 1 year deals, you could stretch money into the future. So TBD, I have no idea what we have available, but thankfully, and it's funny. We just did a show at 3:00 talking about the top 5 needs of the New York Jets. Like in the middle of free agency, my number 1 need was wide receiver. So thank you, New York Jets. Mike Williams there. Number 2 is swing tackle for me. So someone to be behind both Tyron and Morgan Moses on the other side. Number 3 was edge. That's why I think Jadeveon Clowney is a pretty important piece to the puzzle. 4 was backup center. Right now it's probably Wes Schweitzer. Don't love that. Maybe Connor McGovern or something. But we're talking about window dressing here for the most part. I want a wide receiver 3, but that can come in the draft. Swing tackle, that's probably pretty important. Could be a David Bakhtiari type. Could be potentially in a different direction. A Donovan Smith maybe. Edge, I want Jadeveon Clowney, but there's a couple of names out there. I prefer Clowney. Backup center, I prefer Connor McGovern, but there's there's actually a lot of center names that are still out there. And then finally, veteran cheap running back. That's at the bottom of my needs, but still one that's I think is pretty important. So that's another one that I would like to see for the New York Jets. Give Brees some room to breathe a little bit. Raymond on YouTube, Brock at 10 or move up 5 for Marvin. Yeah, I mean, that talk about aggressive. You want Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Mike Williams. Holy friggin' crap. That would be amazing. And I would still be for it. So that would be awesome. Camel Toe Harris 69. Mike Williams is washed. At 29? I don't know. We'll see how he comes off the ACL. Again, I think everyone responds differently. Brees Hall was a friggin' alien, and he came back immediately and was pretty good. So that part. But I would say what John says, that's got to be a very good sign, obviously. To agree to the deal, he has to pass the physical and look really good. And they got to be very comfortable with this progress. So that's another big piece that I think we kind of glossed over, but I think that's important. Patrick Volpe, Graham Barton, the guy at Duke, can play guard, tackle, and center. Apparently, that's how he projects at the next level. He's probably if they really trade down, a possibility. But yeah, potentially, yeah. Let's see. Joe's cooking. Joe Douglas deserves a lot of credit for what he's been able to do. Again, because he's been very creative. Think about it. Morgan Moses, he traded for a half a bag of Doritos. So you get your starting right tackle for nothing. You get Mike Williams, who was cut. So first off, that's not part of the comp pick formula. So that kind of helps the Bryce Huff loss and things of that nature because he was released. So you get Mike Williams, who was just cast aside. You have Tyron Smith, who the market didn't develop there at left tackle on the open market. So Joe Douglas took advantage of it. He took advantage of every situation that's been presented to him. So he's been very creative on filling these holes. And I love it. I love it. I love these 1 year deals, ring chasing. That's exactly what the New York Jets are doing. And it works out for both sides. Mike Williams gets a little bit of coin. He's also shooting for the stars because he wants to kill it with the Jets. So the following year, he can dip his toe back into free agency. I'm sure that's super attractive for Mike to be able to do. Let's see. MJ Dunn says on YouTube, come on, where are all the fire JD guys now? I don't know where they are. Again, I've always been I've been leaning towards, if it's a 50-50, the population, I've been leading 51% Joe Douglas personally, not to fire like that. I think he's done a pretty good job, but there are things you can nitpick certainly with that. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's go to our boy. It looks like he's here on the call-in line. So let's go. We got Johnny joining us here on the show. What's up, Johnny?
He's just caught on, man.
Yeah, I think I can hear you. Go ahead, Johnny. Try one more time. Johnny can hear us. Ah, boy. Okay. Yeah, Johnny, you're going to have to try back again, man. We're not getting you in the car, but I appreciate the attempt. So, again, anybody, if you're in a good spot or if you're on camera, we'll try to bring you on the show. The call line is the pinned comment on YouTube. Feel free to call into the show. MJ Dunn with a YouTube super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for sending that in. All those who wanted JD fired, apologize now. There should be some apologies. Ultimately, though, it is about winning. So I think, as I heard like Joe Caporoso say on Badlands, he's not going to apologize till he's in the parking lot of a home playoff game for the New York Jets. So we'll wait to see on that. But, yeah, there should be a little bit of an apology tour with how he's created this roster. Obviously, some of the offensive lines he's put together in the past, it's been unfortunate, unlucky with the injuries. But, wow, he's putting in work. All right, let's try it again. Let's go to Johnny on the phone line. What's up, Johnny?
Boy Green. So
What's
it's
up,
a A.
brother?
So it's an A for our free agency so far. It'll
Mm-hmm.
make it an A plus if we sign Clowney.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be it for
Dude,
me.
JD's he's magic. He's magic man.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how he's been able to do this so far. Mike Williams, Tyron Smith. I mean, Morgan Moses trade, which we didn't see coming, was a surprise. I mean, he's just been killing it, man. It's awesome. So yeah, it's funny. I didn't realize this. John just says on YouTube, Douglas is in a contract year. You know, sometimes players in a contract year like step up to the plate. Joe Douglas, okay, stepping up to the plate, delivering what we need. This team is looking Super Bowl ready to me, and we haven't even hit the draft yet. This is exciting.
And I love the actual contracts of that they're incentive based. They're gonna make these players play, right? So they could go ahead and hit those numbers that they need. I mean, it's incredible. Like I'm still in awe. This man, if he brings a Super Bowl to the Jets, he needs a giant statue put right in front of MetLife. Hopefully they bring it to Long Island. But
Yeah, yeah.
I hope that this tells Jet Nation to stop being so jumpy when it comes to the GM and continue to keep preaching patience. I mean, I get it. We haven't won something for so long, but he's building it the right way. The culture takes time to go ahead.
Yes.
I mean, as much as I hate to say this team's name and all that, but I don't know if you guys remember how crappy the Patriots were. The Patriots were the dumpster team forever and a day. It's the reason why I can't stand the Dolphins. You know, I would never, and when I mean never, I'm talking about never. Like dolphins, bro. Like even when I'm in the Caribbean, I see a dolphin. I just want to hit it with a rock. You know.
Yeah.
So, well, seriously? My family don't like it, but
I could hear that. Oh, that's awesome. It's just, hey, you know what? They had to start somewhere. And now the Jets, we've obviously been in this lull for a significant period of time. Have been to the playoffs since that 2010 regular season, the year 2011. So we're long overdue, man. And it feels like we're in a perfect position to end the drought, get in the division, to make things happen. It's just exciting, man.
It is. And you know, I mean, and oh man, the draft now, they've literally thrown a giant wrench in there. And nobody knows what Joe Douglas, and this is probably in the best position he's been in I don't know how long. I mean, he hit a home run with Sauce, Garrett Wilson, and JJ and everything. But I mean, now, dude, literally the ball is in his court, and he could do whatever he wants with that at the moment. So I'm excited, man. I just hope, like last year, A-Rod 4 plays into it. You know, God, I hope that never happens or anything like that, right?
Of course.
But, dude, it's an exciting time, man. So, and people want to come into play. I mean, dude, the fan
so
base
cool.
sending freaking a ham sandwich over there is nuts.
Yeah.
You know, so I hope they send Tamar Clowney. I don't know what, man. Send them a chopped cheese from Brooklyn and call it a day.
We got to do whatever it takes. Now that worked, I mean, NYJ Bat has his. We got to help him with a GoFundMe or something to get these ready. Food, drink, anything's on the table. It's awesome. Johnny, thanks for calling with your family and everything there. That's amazing,
you,
man.
Yeah, no doubt. I was getting my teeth cleaned and I got this amazing news coming out, and I'm like, holy crap! Let me hit them up. So I appreciate you,
beautiful.
Bro.
Thanks, brother. There he is. Johnny calling in on the phone lines. That's beautiful. Okay, we'll go right back to him. All right. I've never seen this individual. I've always seen him in the chat, but never seen him in person. So let's bring him in. ASO EXO joining us here on the show, and the beautiful hair. Okay, welcome to the program, brother.
Matching beards, Boy Green. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm excellent, man. Man, are you excited or what?
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of the point where I just thought I'd call in, absolutely buzzing, ecstatic. We had a slow start to the off-season free agency. You know, we were getting a little bit antsy. but slowly but surely he's ticking the boxes, right? Ticking them. And yeah, we've got to this point now. And you know what would make this a perfect offseason is if we can get rid of Zach Wilson's contract. That's the final piece for me. But I'm from the UK. I'm not so knowledgeable about the actual figures, the finances, the stats. Could you fill me in a little bit more about how we can get out of that extra money? Because maybe they're adding players because they've found a way to get out of that big cap situation.
That's a good point. Yeah, so it's a good question, and one we have to investigate. It's simply this: he has 1 year left on his rookie contract that does not include his 5th-year option, which any team, whether it's the Jets or any team he'd be traded to, would decline. That comes on May 2nd. So he's owed $11.1 million in a cap hit for the New York Jets. And if they cut him, they owe him that money no matter what. And that's against the book. So that's no bueno. They get no cap relief no matter what way you slice it if they cut him. However, if they can find some sorry sap to trade for Zach Wilson, then they can save half of that, and they'd save about $5.5 million against the cap if they're able to trade him with the contract as is. Now, there's been some speculation to get someone to pay that number. The Jets may have to slap a 7th-round pick with Zach Wilson to another team, and then they get the draft pick and they eat the $5.5 million, and then the Jets would have $5.5 million to use on something else. So that could be a way to do it, because again, if the Jets cut him, they get no cap savings. So that may be the forced situation, which would be a Debbie Downer to give up a pick. But yeah, they're in that kind of position right now.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for calling in, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, hopefully that's that is the first time, but hopefully not the last time calling in on the show. Appreciate it. I love it. Everybody's excited. Everybody's giddy, and for good gosh darn reason, baby. We got 1,700 plus people in here celebrating and immediately reacting to the fact that Mike Williams has signed a 1-year deal with the New York Jets. We're still waiting to see what other finer point details are in here, but let me throw Connor Rogers on here. No, he's not calling into the show. He's busy doing things, I'm sure, but we do have this tweet from Connor Rogers. Jets signing Mike Williams feels like a rare time. Joe Douglas was willing to go above and beyond for a free agent. Didn't even have to take his next 2 visits lined up. Met his price, prioritizing letting the draft come to him at the 10th overall pick by hitting needs in free agency, which makes a few things clear. This is more from Connor Rogers. 1, I think they'd love to trade out of 10 if the right offer was there. No second rounder. Find a way to add day 2 capital in a draft rich with day 2 talent. If you can't move, commit to BPA approach, something it felt like they got away from last year. There from Connor Rogers on social media reacting to this Mike Williams deal. It's phenomenal. And there he is. ASO EXO. Boy Green debut. Thanks, Paul. Like I said, hopefully it's not the last one for you, my friend. And the phone lines are going to be open here on the program for a little longer for some immediate reactions. And shout out to Jets Twitter. I'll probably tweet this out after the show, but I just want to take a screenshot here of everybody that's live, including myself, obviously, with all of these people. It's so cool hearing seeing all this Mike Williams is a Jet stuff and seeing all these guys. So yeah, I'm taking a quick screenshot here of all of this. It's so cool seeing this. Cause we've got Jets media. I'll throw this up on the screen in a second. This is our fan base, and I want us to all appreciate this. So 1 second, I'll throw this up on the screen, and I'll tweet this out after, and I'll show you guys my Twitter here. It's so cool seeing this on Twitter. 1 second here. Is this the right tweet? Here it is. Okay. Look at this. We have Jets Media live, 4,000 people. We have me live, 2,000-ish people. Jake Asman, nearly 1,000 people. The Jake Asman Show, an extra 100 plus. Will Parkinson also down in there with 50 plus people. Look at our fan base, man, that we have all these kinds of people going live, reacting to freaking this Jets news. It's so friggin' cool and amazing that we have a fan base that's so passionate, so intense, and so hungry, quite frankly. That's the hunger all of us Jet fans feel. We're ready. We have been ready for a long time. There's just been this great period of darkness for the New York Jets and the light at the end of the tunnel that Aaron Rodgers talks about, that, the night is darkest before it turns dawn, that we have this motivation, we have everything, and the pitch that the Jets are willing to do what it takes to take us to the next level. This roster right now is ready to roll, and it's March, and there's months of time. There's the draft. There's so many ways to really replenish this roster. I think Connor Rogers is right in that way, that you're sitting there at 10 and there are opportunities where hopefully someone's trying to move stuff up and you can fill other parts of the roster. You don't have future depth. At offensive tackle. That's a place that you want to build for the future. And some of those key positions that you could be looking ahead, offensive tackle, wide receiver, there's a couple of those that the Jets could hit. So a massive trade down candidate after this move, because now there is no obvious need anymore. Wide receiver, you're covered. Offensive tackle, you're covered. Health is important, as we see here from PA and Senma on YouTube. Agree, health is the más importante factor here for the New York Jets, because you need health at all these positions. Mike Williams, obviously, who's coming off a torn ACL. Tyron Smith, who has missed a bunch of games in 2 of the last 4 years and then hasn't played a full season since 2015. Getting the health is the key, and I'm going to just say this and put this out into the universe. I think the Jets are long overdue for some righteous health coming for the team. And I think it's long overdue, and I think that's exactly what we should be getting here in the near future. So love it, everybody. Mike Williams is a New York Jet. It's exciting friggin' times here. And again, Mike Williams, 29 years old. He'll be 30 coming up this year. He's massive, 6'4", 218 pounds, a former number 7 overall pick. Spent his first bunch of years with the Chargers before they released him. Tried to play some cap movement, and they said, maybe we'll bring him back or this or that. But the Jets, they struck while the iron was hot, said, we need a wide receiver. This guy's in our building. Boom. Let's make sure we lock him in and make sure he doesn't leave. And he did not. And the Jets lock him in on a deal. Again, that contract looking like a 1-year deal with a maximum value of $15 million. I'm going to see again if we have any details. And if you guys see it before me, let me know in the chat about any further details on the financial structure of Mike Williams here. I'm going to do another Twitter search to make sure we don't know any of that. Let me see. Let's go Mike Williams one more time just to see if we can get those key contract details. Just 1-year deal worth up to $15 million. So we may have to wait on the rest of this contract to fully come out here. But I am excited. And look at that. I love that stat from Zach Rosenblatt on Mike Williams. He has 1 drop in his last 23 games and 1 in his last 160 targets overall. So this is a guy that doesn't drop the football. That is freaking amazing. And that's what I'm talking about, baby. So very nice. Yes, very nice. He does not drop the football. That's what we like to see. Yep, and Peter Strager said Jets didn't let Mike Williams leave the building. Immediately becomes the number 2 target on the Jets. Phenomenal. And Mike Williams, what a freak. What a freak. Huge addition. Wow. And shout out again to NYJ Matt, who made this sandwich and everything possible, and he should be going viral, and rightfully so. Well, thanks everybody for tuning into this quick live stream. We'll be back tomorrow morning, unless something else breaks, I guess. We'll be live at 7:30 in the morning talking all things New York Jets. I would just leave you on a couple of notes. We have a legitimate wide receiver 2 for Garrett Wilson. The draft at 10 is completely opened up for the New York Jets. It is the pure definition, verbatim definition of BPA, best player available. That could be Brock Bowers. That could be wide receiver. That could be offensive line. Shoot, maybe even defense, but I'd try to keep that personally on the offensive side of the ball. But what have you? They have the opportunity to go BPA, trade back. There's a lot of opportunities on the table for the New York Jets, and major shout out to Joe Douglas for handcrafting this roster this offseason. He has been creative, and he deserves a ton of credit for building this thing. Shout out to NYJ Matt for the sandwich and Optimistic Jets for the Bush Watch. All of it phenomenal, and we love you fans. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on the channel. Mike freaking Williams is a Jet. Woohoo! Nice.